that show. People like R. Kelly, people like Charlemagne, many others who are accused of these acts, they don't necessarily face the same consequences that, regular cats like us would if we were accused of the same stuff.
Yeah, because in that situation of them being high-powered celebrities, and I'm going to go ahead and say Charlemagne is because he is everywhere. He got a book out, very political. The Breakfast Club is a top-rated show nationwide at that. But their defense or excuse is, well, they just after my money versus someone who doesn't, have as much money as them. And in some cases, and like I said, I'm not going to put the blame on that in all the time, but you do have those pocket chasers who, may trump up, who may come up with allegations and things like that, just to get a check or come up and shit like that. So they're going to throw salt in your name and give these fake allegations and things like that towards you. That does happen. But at the same time, too, I don't care how much money you got. You should face the same consequences of anybody else. We've seen so far examples of people who even utter the words, he did this to me, shit. They've got their shows canceled. They got their shows pulled. They're losing jobs and, all this type of shit going on. You're right. A lot of people are held to different standards, but it should be the same. And like I said, I'm one of those people who try to think common sense come in line. If there are false allegations thrown against you for things that you didn't do, I think they should be held to some type of legal action as well, because you're tarnishing someone's reputation. You're taking away their ability to generate income, so they should be held to that same standard too. But like I said, if we're going to treat one person one way and punish them one way, everyone should be held to that same regard too.
I absolutely agree. So let me get this straight. We've talked about Me Too quite a bit. We've talked about the situation with Terry Crews. We've talked about behavior that was acceptable a long time ago versus what's acceptable now. Let me ask you this. Is it still okay to be a man's man? Is it still okay to... I'll give you an example. Could you be Al Bundy in the year 2018?
Hell no.
Is it okay to still like titties? Is it still okay to like booty? Is it still okay to drink a beer, put your hands on your balls and watch TV? Is it still okay to go to the shake junk? I'm sorry. For those who aren't familiar with Negro vernacular, shake junk is another word for strip club.
Or a gentleman's club.
Gentleman's club.
But
anyway,
back to the shake junk. Pretty much.
But,
Is it okay? Yes. But, again, with restrictions and red tape. If you were married or dating someone and they say it's okay for you to go to strip clubs and do all this type of shit, then that's cool. And you can like these things, but shit, you might have to. I wouldn't act on them or publicly tell people because Married with Children, which is one of my favorite series. Al Bundy did not give a damn.
Fuck, man. No, ma'am.
No, ma'am. Oh, what was Biggins?
Biggins.
That was the name of the magazine you used to list, to go through. But in that time, in that period, there was a lot of things more acceptable. We seem like we're talking so long ago, but for us, that was just yesterday. 90s TV and stuff like that, Married with Children, Martin and things like that, where it was okay to, say different things, you
didn't have to worry about being PC with it.
Right, right.
Freaknik.
Oh.
Man, listen, I got relatives who went. I've seen pictures. I've seen videotape. You couldn't have Freaknik from then to date.
No.
They tried. They failed.
You cannot replicate that.
Daytona. Man.
Shit, Atlanta.
Atlanta, period. Look, Black Spring Break. Man, Myrtle Beach. Look, my man over here smiling now, man.
Memories. It was a Freaknik. I can't remember the year, but I was in 10th grade trying to be Billy Badass and shit, roll with my older cousins and went. I ain't tell my folks. I saw some things that every young man should see at that particular age. Yeah. I got my ass whooped when I got home, but it was worth it.
Hell yeah, it was, man. And I'm gonna give you a flip side to that too, because as much as we've talked about, women fighting for respect and women wanting certain things to change and things like that, there are a lot of women who are okay with the way things are now, or okay with the way things were back then, both young and old, which I actually found kind of surprising.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not so much surprised.
I thought I was, because I really did think it was because it's a different time and things like that. I thought the mentality and the attitude in terms of what women expect from men would probably change and evolve with that. But honestly, a lot of women are okay with a guy just being a stereotypical guy.
They are. They are. And like I said, kind of going back to the point I made earlier, you got to know exactly who you're dealing with to know, what satisfies her or what makes her happy and shit. A lot of women now, they're content with, a man to take out the garbage, fuck them good, and buy them flowers on Valentine's Day. They good. Mm-hmm. But then on the flip side, you got women who have a long laundry list of this idea of a perfect man, what he have to look like, what he have to be doing, and shit like that. And, they kind of come up short. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you just need to figure out the person that you're trying to get with. Ladies, figure out the type of man that you want realistically that you can, get your hands on or whatever, and go from there. Because I think a lot of times, and like I said, when we talk about the relationship show, I know it's going to be great, but when you have these false expectations and you're going in to settle, then you're ultimately not going to be happy.
No.
You know what I'm saying? What defines a man now in that regard, I think, it depends on the person. Like I said, there are certain laws and things in which we should act accordingly to. And, no matter who's looking, you having your integrity intact, you're being a man. Again, being a man does not depend on your masculinity, even your sexual orientation. Is just knowing the certain things to operate in, standard procedures of a man. I wish there was a manual. It's so much shit that I wish we could pen a book on, but it's just something. It's just innate nature. You need to know these things.
My whole thing is, a dude, don't act with any level of bitch assness, especially with other men. I mean, handle your business. Man, get you a job. If you're able-bodied, go get you a job.
Go work, yeah.
Don't assault women. Don't touch women if they don't want to be touched. Don't ask them to smile. I said, don't do anything. Don't try to control them. Have a nice conversation with them. If they don't want to talk, accept their L. Keep it moving. Learn how to fucking change a tire. Pump your own gas. Not everyone knows how to change the oil, but goddamn it, change the oil. Look, do you know how many women would be happy if that dude changed their oil? Man,
they would. They would.
I'll tell you what. Well, I was gonna make a comment, but then that would have came out sexist, and they've been like, "God damn, here he goes."
Shit, I'm gonna freely admit something. When it comes to cars and mechanics, that's not my strong suit. Shit, I'm quick to say, shit.
Can you pump your own gas?
Yeah, I can do that.
Can you change a tire?
I can change a tire.
That's all the fuck you got to do.
But anything else, we going to a mechanic.
Yeah,
I ain't afraid to admit it.
Shit, some of these cars cannot be worked on by normal fucking dudes.
No, I can't. Going to the shade tree mechanic with a man fixing the car with a cigarette in the mouth. He talking and his whole damn cigarette stay in his mouth all together. Like I said, and not having these things doesn't make you less of a man.
Yep.
Owning up to the shit that you don't know how to do, or you
that
can't
makes
do.
You a man.
That makes you a man.
Yeah.
One of my favorite quotes I've ever heard, and I can apply to any situation, is adversity introduces a man to himself.
Yeah.
So when you go through these shit, you take these L's and different lumps and shit like that, take them as learning lessons to be better the next time.
Got that right. Because you know what? Even in my own life, I mean, I've made plenty of mistakes. And so, I can sit up there and say, yeah, I'm this type of male or whatever like that. But guess what? I got a lot to learn. You know? And I'm fortunate to still have my dad here because, even as we grow older and everything else, I can still learn something from that brother, when it comes to how you're supposed to comport yourself and what you're supposed to do. And importantly, how you take care of your family and how you handle things when things get tough. So, there's always a lesson to be learned. Even my cousins. I've got cousins right now. They're a few years older than me, but I watch what they do. I watch how they kind of go about business, and I try to learn from that. I said, shit, even you, bro. I said, I watch how you go about business and how the things that you do and everything else. And I'm up there like, I admire and respect that because that's stuff that I need to learn. That's stuff that I need to do. So, and that's the thing. We all supposed to learn from each other, you know, from that standpoint, because none of us are perfect, you know.
None of us are perfect. And you know what? Not to toot my horn, but I do consider, you know, myself, I'm sure you can identify some other men, and I can as well, who will be considered a man's man. And that kind of gives that example of that. You can admire what the next man is doing. Mm-hmm. You're not hating. Yep. You're not jealous. You're not trying to tear this man down. But you're like, shit, you know what? I can appreciate that. Maybe I need to, you know, do some things to do, you know, better for myself or operate in a different manner, things like that. That's being a man's man. Yeah. Just because you admire another man and shit and what he got going on or what you want to do doesn't make you less of a man. It doesn't emasculate you. It's just, you know, that's how we operate. That's what men do. You know, I spoke earlier about squaring up and shit. But if you can have the time, if you have a situation going on with the next man, if it can be solved by sitting down and, you know, trying to handle it like gentlemen, and you have to get in some gangster shit, then that's what you got to do. Yeah. But, you know, just take those steps to kind of prevent that if you can. Just kind of think the next few steps. You know, think about what you're doing, the consequences of your actions, and, you know, what will be done in the future.
Don't you just want to whoop his ass anyway, though?
Sometimes, yes. I'm like, shit, I want to fuck you up, but damn, we cool now. We good. Shit.
Man, because sometimes you just be in a situation, you're like, I know I got to handle this like a grown man. I know I got to handle it like an adult. I know I don't want to get locked up, but man.
Sometimes and again, that's what makes you a man, realizing the consequences of your actions. Mm-hmm. Especially, you know, if you got families to feed and people to take care of and you do this selfish act, you may feel good afterwards, but think about the time you're going to be away from your families or the income loss that could be going into your household. Exactly. Those are choices that make you a man.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And there's been plenty of songs about choices.
Oh, yeah, that too. Uh-huh. And like I was telling you earlier prior to the show, I know we running low on time and stuff like that, but there's one particular song that I just love. It's hood as shit. It's from the great Shawty Low. Yep. I'm the Man. Can we ride out to that, man, please?
Man, we're going to ride out to that, man. We appreciate y'all listening in with us once again.
Like and subscribe. You can find us on, what's the avenue they can find us on?
Find us on Spreaker, SPREAKER.com, and just search for us, The Real AF Show. A-F. Also find us on iTunes. We are finally on and popping with Apple. Hit us up there. The same thing, The Real AF Show. You can also find us on Twitter, and our Twitter handle is at The Real AF Show. No dash on this one. The Real AF Show. Just hit us up there. And so we'd love to hear from y'all, get some feedback on it. We're stepping up our social media presence on here, but certainly spread the word on it. We appreciate you all listening and just kind of keeping up with us. And we like to talk about some serious things. We like to get a little silly with it sometimes, but we appreciate everyone's support. And with that, we're going to ride out this motherfucker. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Hit the west side, I made them stand up. CEO, Colonel, whatever they call me. Niggas can't wait, they'll be. They done got fat, it's that damn Jenny Craig. Now they show the low back. Oh, made them stop that, they didn't want that. People will make them suckers lean back, way back. Cause I'm the man, yeah, bitch, I'm the man. Catch me in the club, popping rubber band, cause I can. I like to stun a lot, see me in the parking lot. 645, a roof gone, yeah, I drop the top.